The word of the year, 2022, is what?
Repetition.
There you go. That's it. Why do you think that? Why do you think reps are so important? Or why do you think that it's not spoken about a lot?
I don't know. That's a great question, but it is certainly the phrase of the year that we've talked about it a lot. Everyone and multiple guests that we've had that don't know one another have talked about it, so it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Jason talked about it. Paul talked about it.
With anything, I'm pretty sure that word has been at least. We've done 5 months times. Let's say we've done 20 shows this year. I would guess it's been 12 of the episodes.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. It's talked about a lot.
I don't think that it's a very talked about topic in business, though. Do you?
It's tough. Now, it's not talked about as much as it should.
Do you think it's the most important thing in business and in life?
It's certainly up there. I mean, you just got to get. If it's not repetition, you can't be afraid to take the shot. I think that's just as important to me. Too many people
take the shot. Figure out that style of rep is what's working, and then do more reps of that.
And then once you figure out once you score, figure out what you did, and then continue to repeat that process. Get those reps in so that you're making more shots than you're missing.
Exactly. Do you eat seafood?
I do not. That's why I like going out with you, Zach. You're a ton of fun, and we don't ever have to worry about avoiding the seafood issue.
Unless the pizza dough is not available. It's interesting that you have 2 people on the show, one allergic to seafood, one that doesn't eat it. And we're talking to a company about fish.
Yeah.
What's up, Jesse?
Hey, glad to be here.
Welcome to the show.
Are you a fan of fish? I mean, it's not PHISH.
Yeah.
It's not the band. I mean, do you eat a lot of fish? Like, let's just dive into it. Like, why fish?
Why fish? Well, we live in Norfolk, so it's like a water-bound city. I live on the peninsula, so constantly around water. But it just came from
3 of the sides.
Yeah, 3 sides. True.
Sorry.
Definition of peninsula. But Fsh Tank just came from Shark Tank, like a baby version. So think about any founder, regardless of experience or background, should be able to raise just enough capital to test their idea and test the waters. So I believe everybody should have that first shot or first bat. And
it's interesting how you're doing it. I mean, tell us a little bit about Fsh Tank. You and I, we've talked several times, so I know a little bit. But for those that don't know, Zach probably included. What's the premise?
So Fsh Tank, it's basically TikTok and Kickstarter had a baby. So the story comes like I was 18 years old and I just got done reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. I was in my freshman year of college. And I knew I wanted to start a business. I was a business major, but I hated school and I really wanted to drop out. So I was 18. I was like, man, I really want to start a business like now. So I was looking into real estate and different business options. And across all the different businesses that I had considered starting, I had realized I had a few issues and problems to solve right out the gate before I even got started. And can you guys see me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, well, how are we going to market? How are we going to market to customers? How are we going to test the idea? How are we going to fund this thing? And so I was 18. I had heard about this website called Fiverr. So I go on there and I'm like, man, it's so cool. If you haven't heard about it, it's a website where you can pay a freelancer like across the world, like $5, and they'll make you a logo, like the Nike swoosh or whatever. Like you could get your business started for very little capital using freelancers. And I was like, man, this is incredible. If you're a creative person, you could literally start a business from scratch by just putting it together like Lego pieces. And then I realized, well, I still can't pay for this because I'm a broke college student. So I was like, well, it'd be nice if you could like build a basket and then have friends and family pay for it, kind of like a registry when you have a baby or when you get married. And so that was my initial thesis when I started Fsh Tank. I was like, it should be a freelancing website where you can hire a freelancer, but have friends, family, and investors support the launch of your business.
I mean, it's interesting. Go ahead, Zach.
I don't disagree that everyone should be able to open a business. I do, and start and work on your ideas. I agree with that premise. However, from my own mistakes and from dealing with thousands of other businesses, if you are going into this without even probably $5,000 to $10,000, depending on what it is, it's going to be very difficult because most businesses don't put in the time and attention necessary from a marketing, branding, outreach perspective, right? Where they'll build this thing. I mean, I know so many founders who have spent six figures, $150,000, $200,000, haven't spent a dime on marketing and don't have a dime left for marketing. And then they wonder why it's not going to work. And that's obviously significantly more than $5,000, $10,000. But the marketing aspect of it, I mean, people have got to have some sort of money to actually get that thing to move, because I think a lot of the free resources that might have worked 10, 15 years ago, even 5 years ago, don't work the same way. And people aren't creative enough to figure out that way. So I just wanted to put that caveat in there. Think about that over this. Because we are, all you have to do is go to probably any business school. I don't know what business school you went to, any kind of business competition, anything. And people or these professional organizations, and these people just say, all you got to do is post on social media and it's going to work. I don't know if you've ever heard that. I heard that for 15 years, and it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. I'm like, you guys have clearly never posted anything online. Like, this is obviously a lot more difficult than you think. And by the way, Facebook will just put you in jail as soon as they want, for whatever reason. And so, just the little Zack Miller caveat asterisk in there saying, hey, like, make sure you have money for marketing to get out there as a founder.
Yeah. So
I
agree.
I was just going to say quickly that this is probably like one of the first businesses that I realized that, man, I'm getting older.
Oh,
I don't, like, dude, I'm not on TikTok, but everyone that's on TikTok or on Reels, I mean, they spend hours and hours just scrolling through TikTok and scrolling through Reels. And then when people are done, they're like, where did the last 2 hours of my life go? So from a timing standpoint, I think that it makes sense. And Zach, even to you, it's like, I mean, I don't know if you're on TikTok, but it's one of those things that if people can come up with a really creative reel or a pitch for their business, I mean, it's interesting.
But I don't think that creative aspect, no matter the platform, you have to have something that's going to stick. And I don't think people put in enough creative juices, if you will, to make that thing stick. And that's a missing piece, whether it's on Bookface, on the end of links, on TalkTick, whatever it is. Like,
I agree, Zach. I'm totally with that. So that's another thing that I noticed, like when I was on these freelancing platforms like Fiverr or Upwork or TopTal or whatever, I was like, I mean, there are like higher end, more curated services like Fiverr for business and stuff, but these things have only recently come out, and they're really starting to pick up traction, especially with the rise of remote work and businesses realizing that they can actually break down business processes that normally take hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions, hiring like full-time staff, and they can outsource a lot of work to freelancers that are willing to work for way cheaper. So what I'm trying to say is freelancing is becoming a more viable alternative to traditional procurement of professional services. So like, instead of like hiring a really expensive branding agency and paying like, I don't know, $1 million or something right out the gate to get started, you could hire a highly rated, peer-reviewed freelancer, let's say you were starting Hatch, if you knew anybody that had started an incubator before you, they could recommend, hey, I use this freelancer to get my branding together and to get XYZ. It was a really good fit for me. I think it would work for you. So just like a wedding shower or a baby shower, new grooms and, new parents, they have no idea what they're going to need when they have a baby or get married. They're kind of winging it. And it's the same way when people start a business. They have no idea what they're going to need in month 2 or 3 because all they've got is an idea. So I want to make a social community, like a social, like a community for founders to plug into and get everything they need, whether it's capital, advice, and services to get that initial MVP built.
Yeah, I think it's it's interesting because there's certainly nothing that I'm aware of that is out there with that. I want to shift gears a little bit in terms of one of the things that you're looking for is a co-founder.
Yes.
How is that process going? What feedback have you received? Because that's another conversation that we've had with multiple guests on the show.
You're non-technical. Is that you're looking for a technical co-founder?
Yeah, I'm looking for a technical co-founder. Yep. So at first I'd spent I'd spent 3 months trying to code out the initial MVP myself, which is a total waste of time. If you're a founder, early stage, and you're watching this, if you don't know how to code, please do not try and build it yourself. If you're not going to use no code tools or just off the shelf items, because trying to reinvent the wheel is a ridiculous waste of time, and you'd be much better off focusing on product and marketing and working with customers. So that's my number one recommendation. Number 2 is division of labor it's incredible. I wasted 3 months of my life, so you don't have to. As soon as you can, find a technical co-founder if you don't already have one. Here's how my search is going. So I'm just cold messaging people on LinkedIn. I'm literally just reaching out and I'm just saying, hey, TikTok is basically Kickstarter, and Fsh Tank is basically TikTok and Kickstarter. I'm looking for a CTO. Are you interested? Hit me up. And I'm just messaging people just consistently. And I've got one response, one positive response, that is. So I've got a meeting with him this Saturday, and we'll talk about, what ideas he's got and see if we're a good fit. We're going to go through the 50 co-founder questions.
And to your credit, you've been pretty proactive in terms of, so you tried doing some coding yourself.
Yeah.
You've tried the overseas
yes.
route.
What a laugh.
Yeah, touch on that a little bit. Because this is all really good information for people. Zach, how many people have you heard?
No, I actually so now that Tim said that, I want to ask 2 things. I want to know who has actually done successful on Fiverr in the way that you just said, Jesse, because I've yet to hear from one see success. And number 2, I'd like to hear a business that's been successful hiring overseas because they're trying to save money. I would love to hear that. I don't know either. Yes, there are things on Fiverr that you can do. Sure.
Simple branding stuff, a
very
logo.
Simple things.
Yeah, super simple stuff.
Right. But I would recommend not using your entire marketing on Fiverr. But I can think of probably, and I'm not going to say their names or their companies, but I can probably think of a dozen companies that have spent more than $100,000 using overseas talent that they have absolutely nothing to show for at this point. So I already know what your answer is going to be, because we're now at 13, right? It's a waste of time. It is a waste of everything if you try to do it that way, whatever that terminology is. But sorry.
Yeah, trying to piecemeal a business is like, especially on something so important as branding. Branding is like your identity. So trying to like Mr. Potato Head it with like all these different pieces and making it a really disjointed process, that I mean, I'm sure that's not going to work. So yeah, that's
I mean,
not
it's
something
one of
I've
those
really
things
like.
because if you go overseas to look for code, I mean, it's like you have to be so specific in terms of what the requirements are, in terms of what you want, how you storyboard everything. I mean, you have to get so technical with outlining what the requirements are that you almost need to be as technical just to do it yourself to begin with.
Yeah,
which is it's.
I've seen it even where people just build like there is no user experience. There's no
Well, then you get it
wireframes
back.
of anything. I mean,
And there's no documentation when you get the code, so you don't even know how to fix it. Yeah,
just save your money.
These are common complaints, common problems. Like this is not the exception; it's more the norm today.
It is 100%.
Yeah. So
well, and it's just again, this isn't bashing those opportunities. This is what you need to know going into doing something like this.
Yes.
What you need to know before it's too late.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are like good authorities on this topic because you both run like local businesses that I'm sure you guys are both like business to business, like facing, like you interact with a lot of founders, a lot of entrepreneurs. So I'm sure you've heard quite a few horror stories. My goal with Fsh Tank is to minimize those horror stories. So when I said it was my initial thesis, when I started like socializing the idea, which is what I intend for people to do with Fsh Tank, when you submit a pitch to Fsh Tank, you're basically recording a 90-second video. You're posting it on our TikTok like reel, where people are just going to addictively scroll through all these amazing pitch videos, and hopefully you'll get funded. But in the process of doing that, you're going to socialize the idea. And if people don't understand what it is that you're building, or it just doesn't make sense, or like they foresee problems in your business, they're going to be brought to light. Just like how we're having this conversation right now, there will be opportunities for you to socialize your idea and get real-time constructive feedback. So how am I going to solve the freelancing bit? So something plug for ICAP. I went through ICAP, which is a Virginia-based startup program where basically you just go through customer discovery, which is talking to a whole bunch of people that fit your target customer profile. And so you just put it out there and see what people think. And usually you find out that a lot of your assumptions are wrong. And it's just applying the scientific method to a business model, like to a business launch. And so what I found out was people are pretty simple, and they really like to digest simple things. And when you start adding in a lot of complexity to it, it just goes over most people's heads and it doesn't make sense. So version 1 of Fsh Tank is not going to have a freelancing marketplace. So that was my pivot. What I learned from ICAP was, and that's where the inspiration for the TikTok user experience came in. I was like, well, I'm going to just optimize for fundraising. I want to help founders solve one major problem, which is validating their business to see if anybody gives 2 peanuts about it. And, you know, let's get some funding so you can get building. And just like Zack said, there's like a certain amount of fuel that needs to be in the rocket to escape the atmosphere and like get it into orbit. You're going to need to raise just enough capital to get out there and test your idea and to like really find product market fit. And you can do it without money, but you can't do it without socializing the idea and getting it out in front of enough people that fit your target customer profile. And so I think services like Product Hunt or Fsh Tank, they're really geared towards that problem, which is finding product market fit. And does anybody give a crap about your idea? Like as inventors, we're
it's interesting that you say Product Hunt, right? Because I feel like Product Hunt, and what you're trying to do. Product Hunt is very startup-y, right? Where I would, this is me making my assumption, is that the overwhelming majority of people that are on Product Hunt aren't those actual customers. Right?
Yes.
There are people who are startup-y that think it's cool, so then they'll upvote it in that kind of way. Right? Where I think your target customer is the actual customer of the businesses that would be pitching on there that are looking for a more social kind of way. Nothing against Product Hunt. I just always, when I do go to that site, I'm like, this is interesting because it seems like all the people are in it are very startup-y, right? Very entrepreneurial, where there's
it hasn't crossed the chasm yet, and so it hasn't really been influenced by the early majority and late majority and laggards. It hasn't really been informed by their input. So
there's nothing the matter with that. It's just they're very very different.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I mean, everyone's got an opinion, but what I see happening, man, I don't think you can try to stuff this into the traditional social media platform type box. Like, to me, if I was listening to this as a founder, like, things that I would be interested in would be, hey, I want to post, I want to create these reels and post things about it. But like, information that I would want to know is, hey, you know, I would, as a viewer, I would be willing to be a customer. I want to follow this person, this founder, and follow how this product continues to develop. I would like to know, you know, would you be willing to invest? Is it now? Is it not now? Is it, I would like to continue to hear more about it. I think that there's a lot that you'll be able to tease out of this as you go down, but you know, it can't be forced to be in the traditional box of social media the way it is today. Like and comment kind of thing.
I don't want it to be so ephemeral. So like, what I mean by that, like, is like a lot of social media is just like here today, gone tomorrow. Like,
it's your traditional news.
Yeah, it's traditional news. Yesterday's news nobody cares about.
Right.
I want it to be like, you can tell a story from like napkin sketch, inspiration. Oh my God, I just had an idea. Let me post to Fsh Tank. And then you can see their progression and their pivots, and how they're really thinking about these issues and how they're going through the idea maze.
Are you doing that yourself as you're building Fsh Tank?
So
are you your own user, if you will?
Yeah. Am I eating my own dog food? Right.
Yeah. Or cat food if you're a cat.
Yeah. Partly, but I'm kind of, so yes. So partly, but also not. So
which one is
I'm
it?
kind of building in stealth mode right now until I can get a CTO, because I want to be able to move fast.
But if it's video based, why wouldn't you just post that type of stuff? If your whole premise is, I mean, to me,
that's,
if we're really thinking MVP, it's, you go on those platforms, you record those quick little videos that you're talking about, and then you just have a PayPal link.
That's what I want to do.
I mean, to me, it's that simple to push that out. If you're going to eat your own dog food, own cat food, fish food, right?
Fish food. Dude, fish food ice cream, best ice cream out there.
Oh my God! Oh, that is so not true.
It's definitely the Tonight Dough.
It's definitely what?
The Tonight Dough. The Jimmy, what was it? Jimmy Fallon.
I can't handle this anymore. You know what? Like, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave the broadcast right now. We're not getting into ice cream talk, because this is actually, I've never had fish food. Is that the one with the Swedish fish in it?
No. That's so it's fish food because it's the members of the band Fish. They each put in their favorite ingredient. So it's there's like caramel, marshmallow, chocolate pieces. Oh, dude, it's so good.
And what's the one with the Swedish fish in it? No, it is.
I totally derailed the conversation. I apologize.
No, I was saying, eat your own dog food, eat your own fish food. Right? That's like, why aren't you doing that?
So,
like, to me, if you were doing that enough, and then you're looking for the CTO, like, you're gonna find someone that wants to join the team because they're seeing that they're interested in it.
Right.
Like, why aren't you playing up that hype of the thing that you're gonna do and then build?
And this is good. this is what I want to provide for founders. Like, I'm socializing the idea, and you guys are calling me on my stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well,
you're
it's
not
a-
socializing the idea of the way you own dog food. Like,
the thought of
you
a
should be
fun,
doing the videos.
a thought of a fun LinkedIn type of thing. I would be interested in that. That would right now. I mean, it's just LinkedIn is just so
snooze fest.
It's
Hi,
just
do you
so
want to buy
sterile,
my thing? Let me
Right.
sit. Like, get out of here.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's space for it, man, and I would be willing to bet, man, if you ate your own dog food and you started posting the clips of yourself having fun, or even man, being real on the reel, that would be something that would catch on, and more people would want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, today, what's I think the number one job that most high school kids want to be is a YouTube influencer, man. This is your way that these founders could gain some traction, and
I would
Yeah.
I would start recording a video every single day if this is really what you want to do.
Yep.
Like, you got to be patient zero, you got to be patient one, whatever the term is. Like,
Yeah.
start doing it, showing people, because maybe these
Give
people
us early access. Zach and I will contribute.
I can do that. Yeah.
Tim, were we friends when I did the pitch with Eric? Were you around then? The pitch.co? Tim, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so like this like, I had forgotten about this until even you were saying this. So Jesse, I had created with Eric J. Olson a company called the pitch.co. I think we actually spent like $500 on the domain too.
Yeah.
Maybe $1,500. I think Eric bought it. I think I convinced him to buy it. Maybe. I don't know. But it was very much like, does this business idea have any roots, basically? Is there any viability to it? And we did it for people that were pitching in the area. We did it for startup competition. So at that time, I was doing Start Norfolk, which is similar to what Tim runs now in Start Peninsula, and any other kind of startup weekend, stuff like that. And what was interesting is we had people paying for it. I think if you wanted to submit an idea, it was like $5, something like that. And
How did that go for? How did that go for you?
Well, I'm not talking about it now, so clearly it didn't do well. I mean, it just didn't work. I don't know if it was the right time. I don't know if it's because we were charging and some people didn't want it. Like, it had an upvote, downvote thing. It was, I believe it was actually one of the ways that we ran the competition. So I made the assumption that
what year?
13, probably
2013.
That
was around the same time Product Hunt launched. So, I mean,
could have been
timing. You had a pretty similar concept. Product Hunt, they've got the upvote down. Well, they don't have a downvote, but they've got an upvote.
No, we definitely had a downvote.
You had an audience choice.
Yeah, so I think that's what happened is so like you go to these startup events. So we were looking at like a very much use case. Like, okay, like I'm a startup founder, and I'm speaking out of my tail right now. I'm trying to remember this, but the assumption was there's all these events that are going on, and it's always a judge who's has nothing to do with that business, and these things still exist, right? Yes. And so you have these judges who are judging you, and I've been when I was 2 months ago, right? And my whole thing to these people is to the people participating is, I'm not buying your product, but I'm being forced to judge your company. Don't listen to me.
Yes.
Right. But what you said, this is what I'm thinking. Right. So you have these competitions and these judges, they usually have some sort of like notoriety, whatever. But the people who are pitching these ideas are pitching to, in my opinion, the wrong people. So what would happen if the people in the crowd were more like the actual customer? Still making an assumption, I guess, there. Yeah. But they would vote up in an audience choice, I guess is how Tim had said it. And that's probably what it was called, an audience choice. And so those people would also get to move on to the next round, whatever. Yeah. I think we broke the site that night because I remember having to tell Eric, like, hey, like the site broke, like no one can get on. I think to upload an idea was $5 and then anyone else could just upvote it. I feel like it did okay. And then Eric and I were like, this isn't getting the next step that we needed it to. Maybe it was because people maybe the business case of it, of getting the groups wasn't jumping on. I don't know. But
yeah, dude, that's a great idea. You hit on the same insight that I'm hitting on.
of course,
So like,
I have great ideas. Hello.
yeah,
People are,
yeah.
people are gonna be lined up, dude, to do this podcast now, man. We'll just give you feedback on where you're at. We'll give you your next play.
I do actually. We said this a couple weeks ago, and I said I was going to do it, and I haven't done it. I actually wrote the email to do it, but Dion said this thing is just like, people want feedback. They want coaches. I look, someone. I don't know what my PayPal is, but I think my Venmo is probably Zack Miller says. So Venmo me $250. Send me a 10-minute video of your business pitch, and I will give you my honest feedback on it. Jesse, you can do that too if you want.
Just stitch, React videos.
Yeah, just give me your your business pitch, send it over, give me $250, and I'll give you feedback within 7 days.
Dude, you can do it just for running shoes, right? Send me a pair of Hokas, size 12.
2 pairs, because one is going to fall off the car. Speaking of which, right now, I just a complete tangent. There's currently a pair of running shoes on my Jeep. I do have to go to the store after this. Over or under how many will I remember to remove the shoes off of my Jeep before I drive, or will I once again drive off and lose another pair of shoes?
I have faith in you, man.
Wow.
I put them in a place where hopefully I don't forget.
You've put it out there. So maybe you'll remember.
One can only hope.
Yeah.
Heavy sigh. Okay, tangent over. Sorry. No,
So
I think
what's
you did.
next?
Yeah. So like you have to
Yeah.
you in the next 4 days better start doing this, or
I will. I literally just reserved the TikTok handle. I got to do the same for Instagram as soon as I get off.
A video is a video. If it's good, people are gonna watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I just gotta start eating my own dog food, man. I could like share founders' life stories, just like
I think you should act.
So
So sorry to jump in. Like I do think you should say what Tim said. Like, hey, I need to start eating. The first video should be, hey, I'm Jesse, and I need to start eating my own fish food.
I love it. Yeah.
And then go into it. And then tell the story of how you've been working on this thing for 6 months or however long. You keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. When you have the tool in front of you, you have this device that has never been available before, and then see where it goes with that. And then from that, you'll probably get a couple of comments. You'll probably get some more inspirational ideas. Mm-hmm. Send that to me, Venmo at Zack Miller says, $250. I'll give you my feedback on it. And then you go from there. Just start doing.
Yeah. So I will do that. I'm going to do that for myself. I'm going to start just consistently getting out there and just making videos. I will make, all right, I'm putting it out there publicly. I will make one TikTok. I'm not even on TikTok like that, but I will make one TikTok video every day. I can do that because I already had a plan to start making YouTube videos starting in August. But man, there's no excuse.
August.
Making a TikTok video is quick.
Dude, it's June. That's 4 months from now.
Well, so that's an interesting thing that I wanted to that you've done, Jesse, that I'd like you to touch on as well. Is that so? Zack, Jesse, he gave himself, was it 12 months?
Yeah.
He gave himself 12 months. Say, hey, this is my idea. I'm giving myself 12 months. I worked that out with my wife, and after that, time's up. So that's pretty cool in the sense.
Where are you on that?
So I hit my 12 months, dude. I got to start getting to work pretty soon, like a 9 to 5, man. Or I got to get significant traction super fast. So I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to launch a TikTok channel, and I'm just going to start posting every day, man. And maybe I could just do the little Cash App thing, send me $5 and I'll feature you on the channel. Yeah. It's
interesting that you just said think, I am, things like that. I don't recall if I've ever talked about this, Tim. I don't actually like this book. It's the Atomic Habits book. I have read it twice. And I remember the first time that I read it, listened. I only took one thing away from it. And I don't know why I don't like it. It just didn't resonate with me. But it was this aspect of, from a habit perspective, of smoking or not smoking. And when you say I'm not smoking right now, that door is open to go back to smoking.
Yep.
When you say I don't smoke, period, that door cannot be open. And so you just changed your vernacular, your vocabulary, to being, I think I'm going to do this thing, which means the door is going to be open, to I am doing this thing once a day.
I'm going to do it.
I am going to run every day. I am going to do something physical every single day. Not, I think I'm going to run today. So when you change that vernacular yourself, you are willing to do it. You are going to do it instead of potentially doing it. And so I think there's something powerful there. So I need to say, like, if I'm eating my own fish food here, I need to say, I will not forget to take my shoes off of the car, because I'm getting messages from people saying that, like, you're going to forget. Thanks, Eric Thomas. Cue the Hoka running shoe. Now I'm going to get Facebook ads trying to sell me more stuff again. Like, it's just, you got Andrew in the background saying I'm definitely going to forget. Like Tim allegedly thinks I'm not going. I mean, this is absurd. I'm not going to mess up, but there's something powerful there. So please do it. And if not, we're going to hound you.
Well, the other thing that I wanted to, that I would like to see Jesse do, I mean, like, dude, have fun. It's amazing, how contagious it is, man. I mean, we all know that everything is super difficult, but I mean, the thing is, man, like, just during, or maybe it's just Zach and I's awesome interviewing skills, but dude, the like, your face just looks a lot happier from the beginning of the show. You could tell you're a little nervous, but then when we started talking about ideas in terms of where you can go, and then we saw the vision, it's like, dude, I mean, you just look a lot happier. You there's a glow to you. And that kind of stuff is contagious, man. That, that's the stuff to capture and have fun with it.
You're right, man. You're right. Human emotion is the most compelling thing, I think. Like
storytelling.
Yeah. Storytelling, sales, it's all just about the transfer of human emotion. So if I can
figuring
do that,
out how to personalize that to what you're doing or what someone else is doing. I'm a huge wrestling fan. We all know this. The greatest wrestler of all time potentially is behind me. You guys can decide whether or not that's true or not. It's The Rock, obviously. I have finished Young Rock, by the way, as well. Tim, if you were wondering, great show. I recommend everyone to watch it. Vince McMahon is a hell of a storyteller. And that's what he's good at. And figuring out a way to get pop culture in there and real personal stories in there. Like, that stuff is what sells, right? Look at your favorite TV shows. Look at everything. It's storytelling 101. If you don't storytell, or you don't figure out how to storytell in a way that is easy for people to dissect and figure out, you're not going to be as good. It's not going to be as compelling. And so it's people love it. Storytelling.
Is The Rock's daughter getting into wrestling, Zach?
Yeah, she's been, well,
I saw a headline, and I don't want to derail again, but I saw
the end. Okay, so a lot of The Rock's family, the bloodline, if you will, is in wrestling and has been, and his daughter is now one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is she like super tall like him?
I'm not sure her stats. I don't know if that's the right word to say. I don't know. Andrew, what's her height? I don't. My guess is she's, taller than 5'8".
She could beat me up, I'm sure.
I wouldn't even try to fight.
Yeah.
Because so what do you get if you win? And then the Rock's going to come after you. Yeah, but then the Rock is going to come after you for beating up his daughter.
You know what?
It's a lose-lose, man. Moral of the story is, don't fight the Rock's daughter. Don't do it.
Yes, unless it's a sanctioned match and it's both, accepted upon, I guess, and then I guess it's okay. Greatest. So I'm asking this question for a reason. Greatest Super Bowl commercial of all time. By the way, The Rock's daughter is 5'10", so I was over 5'8". The greatest Super Bowl commercial of all time historically had been the Apple ad, the 1984 ad. I don't know if it was in 1984 or when, but a lot of people say that's the greatest Super Bowl ad of all time. I tend to think that this year the greatest Super Bowl ad happened this year, and it was the Coinbase app. And the reason why is this: it was different. There was some nostalgia with the DVD Pong thing in there. It was very, very unique. QR codes had come back, and probably the most important thing is ads are hard to track. So but when you have a QR code, that is literally the only thing, you were able to immediately track whether that thing worked or not. I think of the 150 million people that were watching the Super Bowl, 20 something percent, 20 million of them actually clicked through. It broke the Coinbase app. And so from that alone, I think it's the greatest commercial of all time. Just what are your thoughts on QR codes? Obviously, you're using them on your screen right now, and anyone can click it, go to the site. Like, what are your thoughts on that commercial and QR codes and all that jazz?
They drive action. I mean, it's better than clicking a link, in my opinion. You know, people are they're naturally curious. They whip their phone out and check it out. So it drives action. It's measurable. It thrives off human curiosity. It's effective.
Yeah, I'll be curious what the click-through rate's going to be. Is it a unique URL for this show, or you just have a general?
No, just general.
What have you put any thought into revenue split in terms of once you get Fsh Tank up and running, it's thriving? What are you thinking at? Is it going to be 80-20, 70-30? What do you I'm
thinking about just making it so like every other crowdfunding platform, they're kind of operating pretty similarly, at least in the equity crowdfunding world. There's like 65, I think there's at least, at the time of recording this, there's at least 65 crowdfunding portals out there, from Start Engine, WeFunder, Republic, you name it. A lot of them are pretty commoditized, and like if you were to go on their website, you wouldn't be able to tell 62 of them apart. I mean, they're just identical in terms of like the value prop, the business model, everything, the website, the UX. Fsh Tank, I think we're delivering a very different face, but like the business model, I see no reason to reinvent the wheel. If it works for them, it should work for us. I think they just raise, like the way they structure it is they get a certain percentage of whatever a founder raises successfully, and it's good enough. Yeah, it's probably what we'll do.
Yeah, when I did my when I launched Anomaly, I did a Kickstarter campaign with it. I don't remember what their split was. I feel like I raised $8,500 and I got 7,100 back. What does Kickstarter take? Do you know?
Kickstarter? Not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe like,
I don't know.
8%.
Man, Andrew's busy on this show today.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like what's interesting is I believe that the single most important thing in a crowdfunding is having an initial list of individuals that you know will buy from. And from there, then if that list can work, then that compounding effect or that access effect of something else could, like a Kickstarter or a Fsh Tank, can help in that kind of aspect of it. 5% is what they take. And so having that access, I think, is incredibly important to your own community Tim?
It's interesting. I haven't been on Kickstarter in a while, but it was last time I was on. It was super clunky. I mean, it's just like update. There's nothing like really streamlined. Where if they had something like a Fsh Tank integrated, where you could just scroll through. Hey, man, I mean, that would just make a more streamlined thing for you. So I think that's again that.
It's catering to like a specific like audience. You've got to be like a cult believer in what they're offering, or you got to be the direct family and friends of the people raising on the platform.
You definitely got to seed the tip jar, so to speak.
Yeah, most definitely. So yeah, I want it to be kind of like LinkedIn. Like when LinkedIn got started, there's something called, I think it's called a growth loop. Basically, you just allow people to tap their existing connections, their power base. So when you create a LinkedIn account, you can sync your contacts or invite friends and family, people that professional connections to join. You can see who's already on the platform that you're connected to in your contacts. So I want to implement something similar. It's a small little feature, but it gives you a jump start, and it kind of...
Is that like the first connection, second connection, third connection thing? Has nothing to do with that.
Not really. No,
okay.
Not really.
But I mean, there's something though that if you did have like a super follow type of feature, like Twitter rolled that out not long ago, where they if you super follow somebody, I'll super follow Zach for $2.99 a month, and then Zach might get $2, and then Twitter.
What does that mean? Super follow?
So like
super follow.
Yeah. It's like Patreon, or like a lot of people cite the example of OnlyFans. Like you can or Twitch, you can back people that you really believe in. And
can anyone do that?
You have to have a certain number of followers on Twitter to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But that would be something, like someone that would be another revenue stream for the founders on Fsh Tank, and it would be a way for you to monetize a little bit as well.
There could be gated content, maybe exclusive access to certain deals, or stuff like that. Yeah.
Can we talk about you're married?
Mm-hmm.
And Tim brought it up. I didn't know about this. This is interesting. Like, what's the dynamic between your wife and the business, and how, like, all of that? Because I think it can be
it's important.
It can be pretty hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I
number one backer.
Yeah. So my wife is my very first investor in Fsh Tank. So Danielle, she's super supportive. She let me quit my job and start this business that, hasn't brought in a dime in revenue over the course of 12 months. So super, super investor, great wife, super supportive. And I'm looking to make this a profitable business from day one, so I can support my family. So that's definitely a big driver. It literally keeps me up at night and causes me to work and to push forward.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought you were in like month 6 of your 12-month timeline. I didn't mean to. I didn't realize you're getting closer to the end of that timeline.
Yeah,
but it's super important, though. I mean, it's just you have to have those conversations beforehand because it's really important. I mean, I know that I had that conversation with my wife when I was resigning from my position, saying, hey, we tested the financial model first. We proved that it would work with the expectation of not knowing when the next paycheck would come from my end. Yeah, super, super important.
How quickly did it come for you? That for last paycheck to the next paycheck.
We were generating revenue within the first month, so we got
nice.
So that happened to work out.
Yeah,
but plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Yeah, I just got to crank the activity up, Zach. You're right, man. If I just eat my own dog food, start like
fish food,
pushing out activity.
That'll be the name of this. We'll have to rename
fish food.
This podcast.
Eat my own fish food.
Eating your own fish food.
Yeah.
didn't come up with it myself with the help of Tim Ryan and Jesse of Fsh Tank. But hey, team effort. So you are past 12 months at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like
what's the conversation with her?
May
like
1st was 12 months. So I'm learning
13.
how to code, not so I can build this because that's just totally unrealistic. But I can learn how to code enough to like get my first like job as a developer, because even if Fsh Tank doesn't work out, I want to be in the startup ecosystem. I want to be with super creative people building awesome stuff, and like I want to be connected. Prior to building Fsh Tank, I worked a blue collar job. I went to business school, but I almost dropped out to get a job in the trades, and it took 7 years to finish, and I had very little professional experience. So my professional network is like pretty small, man. So I really just want to get into the places where super creative, super talented people are. And I believe being a part of the startup studios in Norfolk has been a huge help. I've met Tim Ryan. If it wasn't for my wife being super supportive and the help of startup studios and Tim Ryan, I wouldn't be on this podcast. So I'm thankful, but I'm also doing what I can in the short term to give my family a little bit of baseline security. So that's my focus over the next 2 months. But I will eat my own dog food and just crank up the activity on Fsh Tank.
Well, I think that you've got a lot of things going for you right now. So we've got a new product roadmap, so to speak, that we talked about on this show. Funding is going to get harder for people. The markets have completely reset, certainly in the private equity world. It's going to become more difficult, and that's just going to continue to move downstream. Because if companies are taking write-downs right now, and they're and then eventually going to be taking down rounds when it comes to raising money, the amount of capital available is decreasing. So, if Norfolk, Virginia thought that it was going to be difficult to raise money before, it's going to become increasingly difficult to raise money in the future. So you have that going for you. I think that there's not a lot of the Reels TikTok thing, super, super hot right now. So that as a feather in your cap, you're going to be
short form video, and we're launching it down market.
You're going to be like Tom, on MySpace, right?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh, God.
That's y'all's generation.
Listen, Jesse.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
You don't know who Tom is?
No.
Andrew, do you know who Tom is? Oh, Lord. I'm out. I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm out. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I just want everyone to know I'm getting on a plane right now.
The founder of MapQuest came to the studios yesterday and was talking to us about entrepreneurship. And
do you know what MapQuest is?
Yeah, you probably didn't even know what MapQuest was.
I was like 5 or 6 when my parents moved to Texas from New York, and we used printed out directions from MapQuest.
Yeah, of course, we all did.
To our destination.
Yeah.
So I specifically remember that, but yeah, there was high schoolers and college students there, and he told us he sold the business to AOL for $1.2 billion, and nobody knew what MapQuest was, and like none of the high schoolers knew what MapQuest or AOL was. They didn't really understand.
Jesse, you are no longer in my top 8. That's all I'm going to leave it at.
Yeah, he doesn't know what that is either.
Yeah. So
one of MySpace's things was you could have like your 8 top friends or associates or whatever, and that was something that they would show on the page. I'm not surprised.
But Tom was the founder, and so so he started. He started MySpace, and then by default, you were, everybody was friends with Tom. So everyone's going to become friends with Jesse.
That's
on Fsh
genius,
Tank.
dude.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
I would buy a fish.
Yeah. And yeah. I want to make it kind of like a pitch contest too, maybe. Like just to spice it up just a little bit, maybe down the road. Like we can do weekly pitch contests, see, if, who can get the most votes. They can get a cash prize.
Just got to roll out with some traction, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna start hitting it, man.
So let me ask you this. You just said Startup Studios has helped you. There's how many people in your cohort there? 20 companies?
Like
30 companies?
Why
haven't any of them
15,
popped
20 companies? So I actually just got I literally recorded 2 founders pitches yesterday at the workshop. So Chris Hively taught us how to structure a unique value proposition. So I took, Ethan, the encouragement of Ethan Halfhide spurred me to get some founders pitches. So Ethan pitched and the co-founder Photog pitched on our platform. So I'm going to get those videos, little editing, and just post them today.
Okay, so let me ask you why like it seems like all of those people would be perfect fits for what you're trying to do. Why only 2 of the however many you said? Where's the reservation on everyone else?
Some people are like nervous. They're like, I'm not ready. I'm like, it's never too early to socialize an idea and just put it out there, see what feedback you get. I mean, I don't know. Some people are scared.
I mean, I would dig deeper there.
Yeah.
I mean, these people are in your backyard. You're in a room with them and you can't get their videos up. And that's the whole premise of the fear of
public speaking is one of the most common
things. Don't start a business. I mean, they're going to have to get over that. I would hope that someone is explaining that to them that you're going to have to be in the forefront.
Yeah. Ethan was a great guest. We had him. He was episode 87. And that was a fun.
Is that the guy that moved from New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ethan's a great guy.
But it's important. Surround yourself. Yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the cool, unspoken, not talked about enough. Back in the day when Hatch was around, that was like our microcosm of the PayPal mafia. You look at what some of the people did back from that time frame and what they're doing today. It's pretty cool stuff.
Here in Norfolk?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I'm gonna have to look into that story. That could be one of my
Well, I mean, Zack had a space Hatch, and that was pretty special back in the day. Because if you look at the people in this area today, a lot of that we all met at Hatch. So Zack started it. I was there. Zack talked about Eric J. Olson. He was a part of it. Nancy Gearden, Marty Kazabowski. Dude, the name just goes on. The names go on and on and on about that are still in that space.
Yeah, these are people I've met through the studios and just being around in the area. I know Nancy and Marty, they've spoken before. So yeah, Hatch has definitely had its hand in the 757 ecosystem. So I'd like to get more connected, man. I want to tap the talent pool and the connections you guys have, because that would add a ton of value to Fsh Tank. If I could, just showcase some alumni, some founders. June 9th, there's an alumni meet. Is that Hatch's alumni?
No, but we'll bring a lot of the band together. That's a Star Peninsula event that we're doing.
Gotcha.
At the Vanguard.
Cool. It's Thursday night in Hampton.
What's that?
What is this?
Star Peninsula. We're doing a meetup on June 9th at the Vanguard in Hampton.
Is the Vanguard the old post office?
It's an old armory.
That's it. Yes. Cool.
Cool spot.
Jesse, it seems like you got a lot of work to do.
I do,
We've given you some work to do today, so we look forward to seeing that.
How long before we book you again to check on your progress?
Let's book one in September, 3 months from now.
Wow.
All right.
By then, I'll have like 100 videos uploaded to TikTok.
Wow. We're gonna blast this right here and figure out if you did or not.
Commit.
So I love to call people out on stuff that they don't do.
100 episodes.
That's so important.
100 pitches.
I would one a day.
One
So
a day.
can I throw something else at you?
Mhm.
I think you need to I don't know what the word is, but you need to be doing your own videos for 100 days and try to do the other 100 of other people. Like it can't be just one or the other. I think there's something that you're going through every single day, and I think telling that journey for you will help accelerate people to see you, and then having the 100 founders pitching their videos as well, I think would be incredibly important aspect of that as well.
Yeah.
There you go, man. I mean, you're gonna get people are backing you. We're gonna.
Thanks, guys.
We'll get 100 videos on our end.
All right, it was a lot of fun chatting with you, Jesse, and don't forget to eat your own fish food. Until next time, we'll see you in 100 days or so. Tim.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.